165 days.
Yeah, basically the National Assembly came in June 2015. And from the time they came in, we gave them that, okay, let's assume by July, right? So they have from that time until when they decide to pass the bill and then forward it to the president for assent. So we were told and promised at the Stakeholders Forum, legislating for elections in 2016, that this bill will be signed, will be sent to the president before the end of 2016, latest by December 2016. So this bill, they have started work on this bill for quite a long time. And for over 2.5 years, the National Assembly has had every opportunity to perfect this bill. And there's nothing the president will do on this bill until the bill is submitted to him for assent or rejection.
So the president is right. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying that it has spent more time with the legislator. And even when you look at after the first rejection, right? The president received it on the 19th of February. It was rejected on the 8th of March. But if you observe, the second version, right, was not ready for transmission or transmitted until the 27th of June. Only 3 issues were raised. But it took over 3 months for the National Assembly to send the second version. Then, by the time we come to the 4th version, this was rejected on the 30th of August. 30th of August. It was not transmitted to the president until the 8th of November, which is another over 3 months. Yet, the president has just 30 days to make a decision. And after 2 weeks, there's pressure, sign, sign, sign. You have to sign. And yet, the people that had it for almost 3 months, there was no pressure. And on the 18th of September, the Senate Joint Committee on INEC, right, had already concluded this issue of the 4th Amendment. You get my point? They resumed on the 9th of October, but it wasn't transmitted to 8th of October.
What are your biggest fears about the delay?
Well, the delay is a problem because I think that there should have been more brevity since the issues were known, and then they could have really got it to the president faster, and then the 30-day window would have expired longest time. But my greatest concern about the 4th Amendment is Section 91, subsection 1, which talks about the limitation on political campaign timeline. Now, we have a current amendment, or the Principal Act says you have 90 days to campaign, right? And that 90 days is commencing from the date provided by INEC in the timetable. So currently, the 18th of November was when the political parties were given the opportunity for presidential and national assembly, which means that the presidential election will be on the 16th of February, while the governorship and state house of assembly and FCT area council election commenced on 1st of December, yesterday, and their election will be on the 2nd of March. But if Mr. President should sign this law the way it is, there's a challenge. The challenge is that this law says that it should be increased from 90 days campaigning to 150. And the law does not say that there's a discretion in the campaigning day. It says 150 days, or in the former and Principal Act, it says 90 days. So what it means is that if you add 150 days to the 18th of November, it is going to take you to the 17th of April. Now, if you add 150 days from the 1st of December, it's going to take you to the 30th of April. And you also know that Section 25 of the Principal Act provides a provision at the time at which you can conduct election. For example, it says you are to conduct the date of election 150 days before the expiration of tenure to 30 days before the expiration of tenure. Meaning that the earliest date the election can hold is 30th of December, and the last date the election can hold is what date? Is 29th of April, because it must be 30 days before the expiration of tenure. But now, if you sign a law that will push Nigeria to a point where the time for campaign will get into a conflict with Section 25. And also another problem is the amendment of the Constitution, the 4th alteration, where it talks about the increase in the runoff from 7 days to 21 days.
Let's hear from the legal expert here. Mr. Nwankwo, what are your greatest fears? It seems to be some conflicts in the Electoral Act amendment bill as it stands right now. Should it be signed into law? Do you see any major problem?
There's absolutely no conflicts. I'd like to discountenance what Ajijola has said. It has, when you have a law, I think what he's saying is completely not in line with the legal interpretations. When you do have a law, it takes effect from the date it is signed. It cannot have a retroactive effect. So if there are activities in the Electoral Act that is signed into law, they only take effect if those activities are within the timelines and within what INEC has already set out to do. There's no retroactivity, because if you are saying that, you're also saying that we'll go back to the issue of the primaries and so on. None of that is an issue here. So the law takes effect from the day it is signed. There's no retroactivity.
So they can't say that they need to extend the day
Absolutely,
of campaigns.
that's not a legal argument. Secondly, I think that Honorable Senator Enang has made a very important point, going back to what Justice Sentus Nweze of the Supreme Court did, and that's one of the finest justices of the Supreme Court that you have. The point, though, is that even from the judgment that he gave, it only focused on the issue of the evidential value of the smart card readers. Now, if you go to the 2015 Electoral Act Amendment, which was signed into effect on March 28th by President Jonathan, it says that INEC can use whatever procedures in Section 52 that it deems necessary. So even all the argument now, President Jonathan did not bring that law into effect, and yet he lost the election. He did not want to bring it into effect. Now, if you go to the 2015 Electoral Act Amendment, it has very important provisions. Section 29, Section 52. Section 29 talks about, and I keep making this point, that INEC has the sole responsibility of demanding the use of security, whether it is police or armed forces, in elections. And what you see today of security getting involved in elections without INEC calling them into duty is illegal. Secondly, Section 52 says that INEC could use any procedure, and it is under that procedure that INEC justified using the smart card readers. So whether anybody likes it or not, the smart card reader has already become part of our electoral law and will be used. Now, it's only with respect to addressing the issue raised by Justice Sentus Nweze in terms of evidential value of smart card readers that we are discussing. And I don't see anything in the Electoral Act Amendment proposed by the National Assembly that in any way gives anybody any advantage or disadvantage.
Okay, let's take another break. When we return, we finalize our discussions on this matter and we look at some other issues that are important for the 2019 election from what Senator Hamid Lawan said. We'll take our cue from there. Join us again, everyone.